It's Monday, so that means we have Matt Melzak and Matt Crandall with me in studio for this week's edition of Ice Check on Sports Nightly, presented by Owens Community College. Gentlemen, postseason play has begun. Bowling Green with the big overtime win against Perrysburg, and St. Francis with another shutout performance. Melzak, what are your biggest takeaways from the district quarterfinals?
Boy, I got to tell you, Britt, fantastic weekend of hockey. I mean, Friday didn't start off all that great. Southview with a 10-run win, Northview with a 10-run win. We saw St. Francis do that as well on Sunday. I think Saturday, Matt Crandall, was the big day. It's the one that we targeted and talked about last week. The games, they had the chances to be the best games. They certainly was on Saturday.
Yeah, Bowling Green, Anthony Wayne. Let me start out with that one, Matt. 3-2 in overtime. Bowling Green gets the big win, upsets my bracket early. I had the Generals, but I have to mention this. I gave out my golden pucks for some of the best plays and best players of the year. I got a couple to give out right here. One is going to go right to Anthony Wayne and Ben Thomas. I thought he was dominant this year, and it was a down year for Anthony Wayne, but this kid, he brought it every night, played defense, played forward, led that team. Ben Thomas, golden puck coming to you. Got knocked out in the second period of that 3-2 loss in overtime to Bowling Green. But Bowling Green, 3-2 overtime win. Luke Johnson, Matt, gets an overtime goal. I'll give him a golden puck for it, and he wasn't even done yet. We're going to get to that later, but what a great game that was.
Yeah, it certainly was. That was the great way to kick off really the week, with the Southview Clay game being rescheduled for on Friday night. But then you go to Saturday, okay, and you start looking at that first game, St. John's, Findlay. We thought that could be really tight, and it was. And matter of fact, I thought St. John's had the better of the play for the first two periods.
And I believe this one upset your bracket, Matt.
It did.
Made me happy, okay?
It did.
I did pick Findlay in the game, and it was a close game. St. John's actually started out real strong, couldn't get that first goal. When Findlay got it late, then towards the end of half of the game, they started to roll at the end, came out with a 3-0 win. So I love what Findlay did. It's going to be a tough out for Northview, 2 versus 4 match. St. John's, it seems like Findlay had their number, shut them out the last 2 times they played them. So it was a bad matchup for St. John's. It was anyone's game. No, really, Findlay comes out with the win.
Yeah, certainly that's the way that one went. You look at the Perrysburg Bowling Green matchup, and we thought, okay, we thought even Anthony Wayne, hey, they had just beat Perrysburg a couple weeks ago. It's possible. Anything's possible for an upset there, but we both liked Perrysburg going into the game, and throughout the game, Perrysburg certainly had a lot of opportunities. Matt, they led this game 2-0. They were going on the power play. They really had an opportunity to take a stranglehold on the game, and that's when Luke Johnson arrived. Short-handed goal late in the second. I thought that was the turning point in the contest for Bowling Green, because it looked like they were about to be, if they're without their leading scorer, Nick Powers, he's not playing, and then all of a sudden now they're down 2-0. But boy, they get that short-handed goal from Luke Johnson. It really turned the tide, tied the game in the third, and then as you mentioned, he wasn't done.
No, this was a big, big upset again. Bowling Green 3-2 in overtime, 2 district games in a row. Luke Johnson gets both of them. I'll tell you what, the Hanleys out at Perrysburg, I've been very impressed with those boys. I'm going to throw a couple of golden pucks their way. I loved what Jake Ruby did this year. Chase Nitsky had a big game against Bowling Green, and of course, Tay Snyder. I'm going to give all those guys golden pucks because Perrysburg this year, Matt, 3rd seed in the district. I know they don't feel great now with that 3-2 overtime loss to Bowling Green, but what a year it was for Kevin Fisher and the Yellow Jackets. This is a tough team to play against, and I'll tell you what, they're graduating some guys, but they got some good talent coming back. I like what I see at Perrysburg.
Certainly, I can't argue with you there, especially when you have a sophomore goaltender in Sam Yonker, who played so well for them over pretty much the entire year. So Perrysburg certainly on the rise for the years to come. So that takes us to where we are at right now with the semifinals coming up this week. You'll see both games on BCSN. Friday night, St. Francis taking on Bowling Green. Saturday, Northview against Findlay. The winners will match up the following week to see who heads down to Columbus. And of course, we'll have more on those players coming up when we get into our 3 stars, Matt. Before we throw it back over to Britt, we want to mention the fact that Bedford is underway. They finally got their season going.
Yeah, I felt so bad for Coach Dusty Lazinski and the Bedford Kicking Mules. A lot of great seniors out there. Joe Nagel comes to mind. These guys didn't get started till 2 weeks ago, Matt. They're 5 games in. They're hoping they can get a dozen games in, maybe 15, depending on how the state tournament goes there in Michigan. But they're back playing up in Michigan, and the kids I know are very happy to be doing so.
Good news there out of the state of Michigan and for Bedford. Britt, we'll throw it back over to you, but we got more yet to come.
That's right. We're going to take a quick break right here on Ice Check on Sports Nightly, presented by Owens Community College. But when we return, the guys are going to nominate their 3 stars.
Ice Check is brought to you by Owens Community College. Your success starts here.